Hello everyone. Okay, so in this session I'm going to continue our lecture on topic 7. So basically in the previous class you have introduced by the equation of Euler's formula. So and in fact we have seen that how the second moment of inertia and the effective length of columns has been influenced towards the critical load buckling. And in addition to that, you have introduced by the equation of slenderness ratio. And we have seen how the slenderness ratio influences towards the buckling stress of column. Okay, so in this session, we will focus on the problem solutions by using those formula. Okay, so without further ado, let's start off with example 1. Okay, so in this example, basically we will deal with the columns with a pin-ended support. Okay, so based on this example once, you can see that we need to calculate the Euler's buckling load given that the length of a column is equal to 4 meter and the diameter is 25 mm, so meaning that this is the circular sections column. Okay, so given that the Young modulus is equal to 210 kilonewton per millimeter square and the yield stress of the steel is equal to 240 newton per millimeter square. Okay, so let's look on the solutions. So we have know that Euler's formula is given by this equation, which is a pi square EI over LE square. So in this case, you need to calculate the value of a second moment of inertia. Okay, sometimes we call it a second moment of area. Since this is a circular section, so you need to use this particular formula in order to calculate the second moment of inertia for the column. So which is given by the pi d to the power of 4 divided by 64, and by substituting the diameter of the column, so you can see that the I is given by this value. Okay, so once we have obtained this value, you can further calculate the Euler's buckling load. Okay, so and here the solution. So and by substituting the value of E, the LE and the I. Okay, so the LE is equal to 1.0L because this is a pin-ended column. So the LE is equal to 1.0L. Okay, so and simplify this, so you can see that the critical buckling load for this problem is equal to 2.48 kilonewton. Okay, so and basically they have another equation where we need to solve. Okay, so by looking on this sentence, okay, if this rod is to be used again with an initially straight axis, determine the maximum permissible deflection that may be allowed during the testing procedures. Okay, let's discuss on the solutions in this slide. Okay, so in order to calculate the value of permissible maximum deflection for this column, so you need to consider this particular equation. Okay, so basically in this case, okay, so the column is buckled. So since this due to this behavior, so you need to take into account of bending stress in this in the calculation, where what you can see in this equation is a PCR over A plus my over I. So basically the PCR over A is an axial force, okay, the axial stress. Okay, meanwhile my over I is a stress that develops due to the bending or the buckling of a column. Okay, so the term for the PCR over A can simply calculated based on the previous step. So we already calculated this particular value, and you can find out the area of circular column. Okay, so there is no issue on this particular term, but we want to discuss in detail on this term on the bending stress. Okay, so the bending stress is given by the my over I. Okay, so the m is moment developed. Okay, where you can calculate that particular value by looking on this diagram. Okay, so we know that the column will buckle. Okay, so based on this diagram, the column will buckle in this shape. So the maximum displacements approximately occur at the midspan. Let's say we assume at the midspan or the mid height of this particular column. Okay. So and this is the displacement. Okay, we take it as a y. So and force. Okay, we know that the moment is equal to p multiplied by the y. Okay, so the p here is referred to the critical buckling load. Okay, so and what you can see here in this, let's return to the slide. Okay, so the p is referred to the PCR. Okay, so the critical buckling load that we have calculated in the previous step. And okay, they have a displacement here. So we know that the moment is force multiplied by the distance. Okay, and the distance is referred to the deflections. Okay, or in this equation is referred to the delta. So basically, this delta is the value that we want to search for. Okay, so and so I hope that you can understand how to get the moment in this equation. Okay, so the y is distance between the neutral axis of the section towards the outermost surface. So in this case, since the column is a circular column, so the y is diameter of column divided by 2. So you will see that here the y is equal to 12.5. Okay, so we know that the diameter of a column is a 25 mm. So divide by 2. So you will get that the y is equal to 12.5. Okay, so basically all the parameter already obtained. So you can simply to substitute into the equations. So this equation. Okay, and sigma is referred to the 240, which is a sigma y. Newton. Okay, 240 Newton per millimeter square. So and what you can see in these equations, the only unknown is referred to the deflection or the delta. And by simplifying this equation, you can see that the delta is equal to 145 mm. So this value basically is maximum deflections that cannot be exceeded. Once this value is exceeded, so the column will be failed. So the permanent displacement of a column will be occurred. Okay, let's we move on the second example. Okay, so in this example, we need to calculate the value of allowable as a load. Okay, for the cantilever column. So what you can see here, we have a cantilever column. So the tube cantilever column. So the cross section is a square tube. Okay, so it's hollow inside. Okay, so basically this column length is equal to 2.5 meter. Okay, so basically there is a FOS value given in this equation, which is equal to 2. So meaning that we need to use this particular equation that we have seen in the lecture previously. So where the FOS is equal to P ultimate divided by P allowable. Okay, so for the stress is given by this equation. Okay, so let's return to the slide. Okay, so so this particular allowable as a load can be calculated by using the FOS. Okay, so in this case, okay, we know that in the FOS formula we have a P ultimate and a P allowable. So the P ultimate is referred to the PCR, which is the critical buckling load. So to get the value of allowable as a load, so we need to calculate the value of a critical buckling load. So let's look on the solution. Okay, so this is a Euler's formula to calculate the critical buckling load. Okay, so and the LE, which is effective length for the columns, is equal to 2L, because this is a cantilever column or with the fixed and free end. Okay, so and based on the previous lecture, the LE is given by 2L. So and the length of column is 2.5. So the LE is equal to 5 meter. Okay, so and the I must be based on the square hollow section. Okay, so and this you can see in detail on this particular step. Okay, so and the value is equal to 2.866 times 10 to the power of 6. Okay, so once you have obtained the values of LE and I, you can calculate the value of Euler's critical buckling load. So the value is equal to 2.26 times 10 to the power of 5 Newton. Okay, so by using the F of S equation, so we know that the F of S equal to P ultimate divided by P allowables. So I have mentioned that the P ultimate is referred to the PCR. Okay, so by substituting the value of PCR and the F of S, we were given where the F of S is 2. Okay, so and you can see that the P allowables is equal to 1.13 times 10 to the power 5 Newton. Okay, so and once you have obtained the value of a P allowable, you can calculate the value of the corresponding value of allowable stress. So you can simply to use this equation. So so in this step, you need to calculate the area of a square hollow section. Okay, so this is the value of a square hollow section area. So given by the 1900 millimeter square. So and by using this equation, you can see that the allowable stress for this column is equal to 59.5 Newton per millimeter square. Okay, so we have done for example 2. Okay, let's further discuss on another example, which is on example 3. Okay, so in examples, we will determine the required thickness T of the tube and the critical buckling stress. Okay, so by looking on the equations, you can see that we have strut. Okay, I can call the strut with a pinned fixed supported. Okay, so and okay, so in this question, they mentioned that this particular strut is a partial restraint strut. Okay, so basically, besides we use the term of fixed pins. Okay, basically you need to know that this particular term also refer to the fixed pin condition. Okay, if you found this particular term in the question, so actually it's referred to the pin fixed conditions of a strut. Okay, so in this problem, given that the L is equal to 6.5 meter, since this is hollow sections, okay, circular hollow sections, we have internal and outer diameter. So given that the outer diameter is 100 mm, so the inner diameter is not given, so meaning that we need to find this value. And the strut must resist an axial load P equal to 150 kN with a factor of safety 2. Okay, so meaning that this is the allowable value. So the P is an allowable value. Okay, so we know that the F of S is given by the P ultimate divided by the P allowable. So and again the P ultimate in this case is equal to PCR. Okay, so let's discuss in detail on this example. Okay, so what you can see here is the first step, you need to calculate the critical buckling load. Okay, so and since this is a partial restraint conditions, so the LE is equal to 0.7 L. So since the L is a 6.5 meter, so the LE is equal to 4.55 meter. And given that the F of S equal to 2, and we have defined that the P allowables is equal to 150 kilonewton. So therefore, the critical buckling load is equal to 300 kilonewton. Okay, so in the second step, you need to use a Euler formula, but then you need to rearrange this particular Euler formula in this form. Okay, so and we know that the PCR value, the LE value are already obtained. So by that you can get the value of I here by using this by rearranging the Euler's formula. So and the I is given by 3.1464 times 10 to the power of 6. Okay, so the next step, you need to use the second moment of inertia equation for circular tube. and you can see that the formula is given here, which is I equal to pi multiplied by d, the outer diameter to the power of 4 minus with the inner diameter to the power of 4 divided by 64. Okay, so since they have since the inner diameter is not given, and our objective is to calculate the thickness of a tube, okay, the thickness of the circular hollow section. So we need to note that in this slide the thickness is equal to T here. Okay, so we know that the outer diameter minus with the inner diameter is equal to 2T. Okay, because we have here this is a first T, this is a second T. So in total, the thickness based on this equation is equal to 2T. Okay, we know that the D is equal to 100 mm. Okay, from this equation, we will get this particular equation where the inner diameter is equal to 100 minus 2T. Okay, so by using the equation of critical buckling load, if I'm not mistaken, sorry. So by using the equation of second moment of inertia, okay. So and substituting this equation inside to this equation, okay. So you will get that the T is equal to 11.297 mm. Okay. So and normally in practice we will round off this value, and you can see that the value is equal to T equal to 12 mm, and basically we can calculate the inner diameter once we have obtained this value of a T. So and in this case the D is equal to 76 mm. Okay, and basically you can further calculate the value of a critical buckling stress for this problem by using this formula. And you can see that the value of a critical buckling stress is equal to 90.429 Newton per millimeter square. So I think that's it for this session. So we will continue with another example in the next session. Okay, so thank you.